Friends, we are going to start the closing ceremony of Saturday Manufacturing Talks and the technical session. But before we start, we'd like to play the invocation. So I'd like to request all of you to rise from your seat during the play of the invocation.
कर्मसु कौशलम् योगा कर्मसु कौशलम् नैके क्षेत्रे वर्णयोगः कर्मसु कौशलम् आदर्शाय प्राणदास्मभायम् योग कर्मसु कौशलम् योग कर्मसु कौशलम् विद्या और बुद्धि के ज्वाला का ऐसा है प्रकाश खेल संस्कृति और ज्ञान के मेल का बहुआकाश जीवन रिच्यम लो प्रतिभगिमा निर्दम द्वंगा कलाश्मका में विशाल मैना विराट मैना सूत्रधारी प्रेरी प्रीतमे योग कर्मसु कौशलम् योग कर्मसु कौशलम् आकाशाजी हार मेने लोके मोरा जाबो ताई देशेर तरे खाटছি সবে এই আমাদের গর্ব ভাই योग कर्मसु कौशलम् योग कर्मसु कौशलम् विद्युत भवन कृषि विज्ञान यांत्रिकी वर्चल नारी गारी या सर्वाची स्तुति आजी पूजा ने विच होताले किताब विच नाम है सदा IIT खड़गपुर लोका दामन बावुदा शोर गोल योगी दूर ऐसी प्रभावशाली चेष्टा का है यह परिणाम बंधुत्व के चरम उदाहरण को कोटिशय प्रणाम नैके क्षेत्रे वर्ण योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् आदर्शाय प्राणदास्मभायम् योग कर्मसु कौशलम् योग कर्मसु कौशलम् योगा कर्मसु कौशलम्.
Thank you. Yeah, please be seated. Saturday Manufacturing Talks is getting organized by the Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology at IIT Kharagpur. Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology, its inception started in 2018 by a large number of faculty members from different departments of IIT Kharagpur interacted to a wide extent with a large industry, the bodies, both the public sector and then private sector. And we submitted project proposals to the Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises in 2017. The vision of the center was to inculcate the modern digital concept, advanced manufacturing concepts, so that we can bring innovation into the field of manufacturing. At the same time, we can create an ecosystem between large industries, small industries, academic institutes, and research labs, with the strong support, collaborating with the international expertise. While executing the projects for the big industries, we are also planning to give training to the MSME sector and nurture the startup. While executing projects for these industries, the innovations are also getting filed jointly with the industry member. So this Center of Excellence is the industry academia collaborative platform dedicated purely to solve the industrial problems. And we got immense support from the Department of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises from the very beginning. The center has just completed 4 years. In this short span, it has come up with the solutions or brought the innovations into the manufacturing domain. Examples are the solutions for the real-time process monitoring and control with the strong support from the Tata Consultancy Services.
IIT खड़गपुर ने TCS के साथ संयुक्त रूप से औद्योगिक उत्पादन के दौरान सुदूर फैक्ट्री संचालन को नियंत्रित करने और साथ ही साथ वास्तविक समय के आधार पर गुणवत्ता संशोधन के लिए नोवेल इंडस्ट्री 4.0 तकनीक विकसित की।
And if any defect comes up, so automatically through machine learning, the techniques, automatically the required process or the modified process parameter is chosen, and then defect gets removed.
Supposing the welding you might have seen, no? So welding, when it is done, we would like to see that the quality of the weld is good. Otherwise, what will happen? The material which is welded, because of certain load, it will break for some reason or the other. Now, we do not know the reason. Now, what happens for every job in manufacturing, we need to have a quality job done. And in order to do that quality job, we have to ensure the process which has taken place for this act.
Our faculty members also worked for the industries, developed software for the asset monitoring.
One of the major pain points for any industry is to tackle the unplanned breakdown. So in collaboration with Tata Metallics, we have developed this software where we have leveraged Internet of Things, IoT and machine learning algorithms to come up with a predictive maintenance software.
During the pandemic, we also worked hard and came up with this solution, which is a very low-cost solution, specifically for the MSME sector to check the quality of the product. We participated in the All India basis competition organized by the India AI and NASCOM and came up with one of the top 3 innovations in the field of AI, which is ready to go to the market. Our faculty members also worked with the industry people and published a book which is very relevant to today's world, that is on the digital twin. Our daily activities and innovations are widely publicized in the different media coverages. At the same time, our faculty members are working hard, filing patents, publishing research papers in the various reputed journals and conference proceedings with the help of the industry bodies. Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology is blessed with a infrastructure, 40,000 square feet industrial shed, which is housing the equipment and other activities. The building construction got started in the month of August 2019, and in March 2021, just in 1 year, 8 months time, including the pandemic period, the building got developed. Our infrastructures are really state-of-the-art, industrial scale, so that we can execute the research towards solving the industrial problems. So we do have large number of the robotic facilities on different manufacturing domains. They are all Industry 4.0 compliant. It means we can collect the data during the process and also monitor the health of the machines. One such sophisticated infrastructure is the robotic vibration testing facility. So any object which is undergoing vibration can be monitored, and accordingly the design of the object can also be made. Our other infrastructures are like hybrid additive manufacturing facility, which would be able to print metal object close to 1 meter length, again first time in our country, and various CNC machines like computerized numerical control in various for various activities, and also the metallographic facilities. From the very first day of the inception of Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology, we are conducting various events. One such event is that the visit of the MSME sector, that is the micro, small and medium enterprises, and we got it done with the support from the Confederation of Indian Industries Kolkata branch in the month of April 2019. We conducted short-term course on Composite 4.0, that is Industry 4.0 for the applications of the composite manufacturing, where the lectures got delivered not only by the IIT faculty members, but also the industrial experts. We have conducted one-day workshop on metallography, again in 2019, where lectures got delivered by the very renowned metallographer George Vanderboot, with the support from the stewards, where the students, undergraduate students, postgraduate students, doctoral scholars, even the faculty members of IIT Kharagpur also participated in this one-day workshop. As I mentioned at the beginning, the mandate of the center is to give training to the MSME sector or the industry professionals. So we started our CNC training program for the ITI students, diploma students, undergraduate students, even the doctoral scholars also participated in the month of November and December in 2019. And the program was very much successful. We continued this training program even 4 times. So 5 days training program in the month of February 2020. And during the pandemic, with the strong support from the competent authority, we conducted this training program, maintaining the social distance, but for a very limited the participants. We are not stopping here. We are also going ahead to give training, customized training program on the robotics for the employees or the engineers of Tata Metallics in the month of April 2022. We are also going to have the 3-day short-term course on machine vision for robot applications in manufacturing, as we know that this will be very much useful, not only for the students and also for the industries, because Industry 4.0 applications are very much getting adopted by the industry professionals for the real-time quality check. So we hope that this course will be very much useful for everybody. We started our journey with the 6 industry members. And we have mentioned that with us, we had the Tata Motors, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Steel, Tata Sons, and 2 public sector organizations, HEC, Rachi, and BHL. But again, very recently, we interacted with the other industry members, including the existing industry members, and submitted project proposals to the Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises for the growth of this Center of Excellence. So the new members have joined the LM Wind Power, GE Aviation, and Tata MD. Let us look into the genesis of this Samota, the Saturday Manufacturing Talks. Why did we start with the Saturday Manufacturing Talks? What was the purpose? When entire world was suffering from the pandemic, the institutes got closed, offices got closed, we all got locked up in our respective houses and all. And in one such day, I had an interaction with the director, Professor T.K. Tiwari, and he suggested to do something so that we can go ahead enhancing our relations with the alumni and also enhancing the teacher-students interactions specifically for this pandemic. Getting these suggestions, we interacted with our doctoral scholars. We did a lot of brainstorming. What can we do in this pandemic period for its long sustenance? Then we came up with an idea of the Saturday Manufacturing Talks. And we discussed with our faculty members associated with the Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology. It got immensely supported by them and also supported by the faculty members across this institute. We initially started our journey with the lectures of our distinguished alumni, and then we also invited the speakers of the different fields, academics and industry and the research labs, which are also not our alumni. We started our first webinar with the inaugural lecture by Professor Farooq Mistry of University of Oklahoma. That was on 13th of March 2021, just 1 year back. And today we are at the 52nd 52 webinar series. And today's lecture will be delivered by distinguished faculty Professor Suman Chakraborty. I would like to request our director, Professor V.K. Tiwari, to say something about the Saturday manufacturing club. Sir. I hope Sir has got time to join. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. Thank you very much, Professor Pal. I think you have narrated the whole journey right from 2019 to today. And in fact, I would say that it is the effort that you and your colleagues at the Mechanical Engineering Department, including other faculty members from different other departments, came up. And that is why this Saturday manufacturing talk could be started. I think you should not give credit to anybody, because I must give credit to you, because you were the driving force in this, and you have put day and night and not missed a single week after that. And that's a great achievement. I think I congratulate you for that, along with your friends and other people who have really toiled to create this thing. I think such an activity is the requirement of the day, because ultimately, you know that I had a talk with Mistry ji long back last year, and they had advised us that the only way to reach to the top 10 in the world is to create certain areas, certain niche areas where people will be attracted and try to come over to Kharagpur and work, the foreigners. And I think this was his brilliant idea. He said that you have to have such a facility, and this is a unique facility. In fact, he said that this is a unique facility created at IIT Kharagpur, and hence it must be leveraged to get the benefit. And therefore, the first lecture was by him, and I had attended the whole lecture. It was a great learning from me also, because I am also a farm machinery engineer, so I'm more interested in manufacturing materials and design, etc. And it was very informative for me as well. And right from that time, you did not lose heart, and you just created and be behind that, remain behind this whole thing. I think I think the journey has been. I was just going through the number of the types and the different types of lectures that have been given. You see, you have started from the manufacturing equipment which has been brought over here. How is AI can be applied to the manufacturing design? How the various processes can be studied. What benefit a particular small MSME will give if he comes over here, because today quality products is an essential requirement for a MSME, so that he can earn more and more. We know that the infrastructure at the MSMEs are very small. I'm talking of very small or small sizes ones, not talking of the ones which have crores of turnover. But I am sure we are targeting very small manufacturing MSMEs, and therefore such a facility, when I saw it, was it will be of great use to them. I have seen the additive manufacturing process and the what should I say, the welding, the welding which the AI use of AI in order to find out and correct the something wrong in the welding or defects in the welding on course. That is a great thing which you have, you and your friends have done at this manufacturing, and it was applauded by many people. The various lectures that I can see has been very nicely nurtured and given by various people of the different parts of the world. This itself has created a long journey, because every Saturday I used to see this thing, and I see that not less than 200, 300 people from across the world have attempted. So this is a very good journey, and we are confident with your dedication and the dedication of friends with you. I'm sure this particular, I think Mistry, our Professor Mistry is also there. Our senior professors are there. I'm sure with the advice and help, we will go a long way in making this particular center one of the best in the world. We will have to invite now, because Corona is over, we will have to invite some of the top manufacturing people or the process people, industries who can come here and leverage what has been created over in this particular center. I think more will be heard from our experts. They will be the better person to speak. But I think this is a good beginning that we have made. I congratulate once again you and your friends and all the faculty members involved in this particular Center for Advanced Manufacturing for Industry 4.0. We also looking for new education policy, maybe that education 4.0 as well. People are trying to take, because more and more of industry, higher ended industry processes are being automated. There you will require a high level of manpower as compared to what we had in industry 2.0 or 3.0 at that point. So I think there is some relevance between what we are talking of industry 4.0 and education 4.0. I think with this, I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts. Just by the way, because you know that till 15 minutes back, I was in the office and all that.
Yeah.
So it's good that you are doing, and please continue. I'm sure there are seniors who will bless us, and there are more friends who will come along with us. Several industries who have come, more and more industries will be invited. And now, because of the pandemic, hopefully it is over, we will have more and more activities in this center. With this, I conclude, and I congratulate you and all people in the 52 lectures that they have given. 52nd lecture is being given by one of our very renowned professor, Professor Suman Chakraborty. And well, I don't think I will be able to hear. I would have loved to hear him, but I have to go to that function there. I wish it will be recorded, and then I would like to hear what Professor Suman Chakraborty has said. With this, I request that please go ahead. My namaskar to all of you.
Thank you, sir, for your blessing and inspirations all the time from the day of inception and all. Thank you, sir, for your presence here.
Okay. So I will now exit. Please don't mind, right?
Okay, sir. Yeah. So with your permission, we are going ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Best of luck.
Let us see our. Is it visible now? Let us see the list of distinguished speakers. As we have mentioned that we have started our journey with Professor Farooq Mistry on the 13th of March 2021, followed by the Professor Nikhil Chopra, Professor Tapun Bagchi, Dr. Arpan Pal, Professor Pradeep Datta, Mr. Ramnath Mani, Professor Manish Kumar, Professor Subra Das, Professor Kailash K. Kapoor, Professor Subir Saha, Mr. Suresh Adina, Professor Sresh Melkote, Professor C.S. Kumar, Mr. Bhaskar Majumdar, Professor Prasenjit Mitra, Professor Krishna Pattipatti, Professor Santosh Devasiya, Dr. Purnendu Sinha, Professor Amitabh De, Professor Sudeshna Sarkar, Professor Paulo Bartolo, Professor Ajay Malsi, Professor Amrit Chakraborty, Professor Derek Seglarek, Professor Adrian Gilrich, Mr. Gyani Basu, Dr. B.P. Gautam, Dr. Preet Banerjee, Professor Keshav Das, Professor Vaibhav Srivastav, Professor Suhas Joshi, Professor Satyendu Gupta, Mr. Dipankar Ghosh, Mr. Arjun Malhotra, Dr. Naresh Murmu, Dr. Naga Hanumanaya, Professor John Norris, Professor Girish Chaudhary, Dr. Supriya Ganguly, Mr. Amish Thakkar, Professor Devdut Seth, Dr. George Vanderboot, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, Professor Feng Shugu, Professor Dragos Exenti, Professor S. Gopaleswamy, Professor Anandru Bhattacharya, Professor Christopher Bailey, Dr. Parth Sarathy Mandal, Professor Sujit Banerjee, Professor Jian Kao. If you look into the distribution, we had speakers, 38 speakers from the academic domain, 12 speakers from the industry, and 2 from the research lab. If you look into the demographic distribution, 21 speakers from our own country, India, 20 speakers from US, 9 speakers from UK, 1 speaker from Canada, and 1 speaker from the Australia. Let us hear the views from the different corners of the globe. Let us hear how the students feel like.
Good evening. I am Tariq from Mechanical Engineering. I am currently pursuing my third year of studies. This series of talks served as a great starting platform for me to explore certain domains more. For instance, certain domains I didn't even know they existed before these manufacturing talks. And when I came to know about them, I had a lot of interest, and I thought that why not explore more? So this talk series served as a great starting point from which I explored further about certain methodologies or technologies talked in the speech, and even I used it to network with more people who are working in that domain. And in those aspects, I would say it has shaped me in a better position than I was. And so I am truly thankful to the whole team which worked behind this tremendous long-term project, I would say, because especially with all those COVID situations and COVID cases, this thing was something that was never stopped or was never faced. So a huge thank you, and really my heartfelt appreciation to the whole team which is behind it. Thank you very much.
Let us hear what the doctoral scholar says.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Simeon Babalola. I am a CSIR TIWAS postgraduate fellow, and I'm currently doing my PhD program at the Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, Durgapur, India. I would like to say that the webinar series has been a very great success, and it's been very impactful. Just like there is a saying that images or pictures speak louder than words. In a very similar context, I would like to say that this webinar series has given me the privilege to actually see beyond the written text or journal publications of some of the great minds in my research field. So in light of this, I would like to say it's a very great program, and I want to say thank you and congratulations to the organizers.
Let us hear from the academicians.
Hello, I would like first to thank Professor Siri Apal for the invitation to give a presentation to this Saturday manufacturing talks. It was a great pleasure and honor for me to be presenting to one of the leading research institutes in India and with high profile internationally. I think what is more important is not the talk, but the possibility to bridge further collaboration with IIT Kharagpur and in general with IITs. I would like once again to thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you.
Let us hear from the views from the research lab.
Hello, this is Dr. Naganamaya, Director at CMTI, Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, located at Bangalore. We are the National R&D Lab under the Ministry of Heavy Industry. I was one of the speakers in Saturday manufacturing talk that were being organized by IIT Kharagpur, basically the center, MHI funded center, coordinating by Professor Sujakant Pal. As a speaker, yes, I shared my thoughts on range of manufacturing, particularly focused on machines technology and processing technology. But I also attended this year-long event they hosted. Two things I liked. First is their consistency. Every Saturday they hosted, and they could able to reach out to the manufacturing experts across the globe, and covered a range of technologies, both in terms of relevance in the academic arena and as well as the industrial challenges. I think it was a kind of ready-made platform which was made available to all the stakeholders of innovation ecosystem. While some of the researchers spoke on the latest technology like additive manufacturing, smart manufacturing, and some lectures were highly scientific, theoretical intensive, conceptualization, and also justifying some of the innovations being used for various applications. I think that was the beauty. This Saturday manufacturing talk cover the entire the technological aspects which are associated or which are being used in manufacturing value chain. Thanks to Professor Sujakant Pal and his team for giving me also an opportunity in one of the Saturday.
Let us hear from the industry professional, Dr. Arpan Pal, who is also our alumnus.
Hi, this is Arpan Pal, Chief Scientist from TCS Research. Myself and my team has been attending the Saturday Manufacturing Talk since its inception. It has been a well thought out event with careful choice of speakers, and topics are spanning across the whole gamut of manufacturing technologies. Not only the talks outline the progress of Industry 4.0, which is the application of IoT in manufacturing, but they also give a glimpse of the futuristic Industry 5.0, which is nothing but the application of collaborative robotics in manufacturing. All the talks were beneficial. We also got some very useful feedback from this august audience when we presented our work around the sensing and robotics in one of the sessions. I really commend Professor Eskapal and his team for arranging such a nice lecture series. Thank you.
Let us hear from Dr. Purnendu Sinha live. Dr. Sinha.
Thank you, Professor Paul. Good evening, respected professors and guests who have joined this event today. First of all, thank you, Professor Paul, for this opportunity to share my thoughts at the closing ceremony of Saturday Manufacturing Talk held at IIT KGP. Maybe we celebrate Azaadi ka Amrit Mahotsav at a technical premier institute in India over the past 52 weeks. Professor, congratulations to you, faculty members, research staff, and scholars who have tirelessly worked to make this event a grand success. From my perspective, if I look at the talk series, it has covered varied areas, starting with technical aspects of advanced manufacturing, business-related stuff, governance and sustainability, to name a few. And these are typical challenges which are faced by industry at large today. And again, I had a privilege to deliver a talk in this series as well, where I talked about how industry, academia, and government tripartite collaboration is very, very critical in the Indian context. And I think it was well received. And I also had the opportunity to attend a few talks given by distinguished speakers from them, and I found all the sessions which I at least attended or watched the video later on, they were quite engaging. I must say that all speakers who participated in this series did a fantastic job in delivering very informative and insightful lectures. I'm sure that students, faculty, industry professionals will be able to learn from the recorded sessions, which is available on the center's website. And I urge them to do so because it's such a enriching repository of knowledge which is available with us here. I think I won't take much time. I just want to wish you all the best, Professor, and your team at the center for many more achievements to come in the year. We have already summarized what all good work has been done at the center. So once again, thank you for this opportunity and namaskar, and I'll be staying back for the rest of the
Thank you, Dr. Sinha.
Thank you.
Let us hear the views from our esteemed alumni.
Hello, good morning. My name is Prithviraj Banerjee. I'm Chief Technology Officer at ANSYS. I wanted to congratulate Professor Surya Pal on organizing a set of fantastic webinars, the Saturday morning seminars on manufacturing. Just wanted to share with you how important this particular webinar series is. I am a graduate of IIT Kharagpur in 1981. I was fortunate to have got a fantastic degree from Kharagpur, came to the US to do my master's PhD from Illinois, spent the first 20 years in academia as a professor at University of Illinois and Northwestern. In the last 15 years, I've been in industry, working as director of HP Labs, CTO of ABB, Schneider Electric, and now currently as at ANSYS. Now, we are living in a global world, and it's important for IIT Kharagpur to be well known globally, right? And in the days of the post-pandemic, essentially, in the past, we had to bring in speakers from outside and have them visit IIT Kharagpur, which was quite difficult. But bringing in top-notch speakers from around the world and giving talks at IIT Kharagpur, it allows the students and professors at IIT Kharagpur to know what is going on around the world, as well as to reach out to these leaders in the world in the field of manufacturing or whatever it is, and let them know about the outstanding faculty, research, and students at IIT Kharagpur. So this program was executed very well. It was my pleasure and honor to give a talk on the challenge and opportunities of digital twins that I'm personally driving at ANSYS, where I talked about what digital twins are, how you take large assets, make digital models of the assets, and make them connected through an IoT sensor and make those models as realistic as possible. And digital twins have been used in all kinds of industries, in manufacturing, in automotive, in aerospace, and others. And I kind of talked about what ANSYS is doing in terms of hybrid digital twins in the area of manufacturing. So my congratulations to the professors at IIT Kharagpur, specifically Professor Surya Pal, on organizing this seminar series. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let us hear from our dignitaries.
I am very happy to note that the Saturday Manufacturing Talk of Center of Excellence of Advanced Manufacturing Technology is going to complete its first 1 year, and on 12th March it will be over. It will be completing its successful journey. It's really commendable that Professor Suryakant Pal, who has taken the lead and taken this initiative, and throughout the year, every week, organized a very distinguished speakers talk on various topics of manufacturing. It has created a sensation, as I believe. Many of our alumni and also students and many professionals in the industry they have participated in this event. I congratulate the whole team for going through this journey, and I'm looking forward that in future also this kind of effort will be taken by many of our centers in our institute. Congratulations once again.
We have received blessings from the Additional Secretary of Ministry of Heavy Industries, Government of India, Professor Nidhi Shivet. This is the message we have received. Thank you, ma'am, for the email message. We have come almost at the end. Without the help of the moderators, so many faculty members, this program would not have been possible. Professor C.S. Kumar, Professor Suman Chakraborty, Dr. Parsarthi Mandal is from University of Manchester, Professor Anandru Bhattacharya, Professor Devashish Chakraborty, and myself, we moderated the 52 webinar series throughout the year. All webinar series, webinar talks are recorded. You can scan this code and watch if you have missed anything, or otherwise you can go to open YouTube and just type Saturday Manufacturing Talks. We do have our own YouTube channel named as the Center of Excellence AMD Advanced Manufacturing Technology at IIT Kharagpur, and you'll get all the webinar series in the YouTube as well. We'll be also publishing a compendium of all the talks. The abstracts of all the talks will be there. And at the same time, what would be our action plan? What is our takeaway from this, the collaboration or the interaction that we have made? We have received immense inspirations and support from the entire administrations and large pool of faculty members. Without their cooperation, it would not have been possible. Wholehearted contribution from the Center of Excellence Advanced Manufacturing Technology faculty members. Office of the Alumni Affairs and Branding came forward for promoting and giving access to these WebEx links. Institute Information Cell, ERP section for regular email circulation and hosting in Institute website. Regular promotion by IIT Kharagpur, India and US alumni foundations. And last but not the least, this event would not have been, it would have been next to impossible without the help of the three people, Dr. Devashish Mishra, previous doctoral scholars of IIT Kharagpur, Mr. Anand Datta, present doctoral scholars, and Mr. Prabhanjan Nayak, the technical staff of the Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology. I can't explain how much effort they have put in, day out. They stood beside me, beside the Center of Excellence to make this event successful. Before we close our closing ceremony for this Saturday Manufacturing Talk and proceed to the technical session, the wonderful lecture we are all waiting to hear Professor Suman Chakraborty, let us all rise in the honor of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. So I thank all the audience for attending the past 51 webinar series, webinar talks. And let us proceed to the technical session today. Today's talk would be delivered by Professor Suman Chakraborty. Professor Suman Chakraborty doesn't need any introduction. Everybody knows. So with this brief information about the Professor Suman Chakraborty, who is the Fellow of American Physical Society, Fellow of Royal Society of Chemistry UK, Fellow of ASME, Fellow of Indian National Science Academy, Fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineering, Fellow of Indian National Academy of Sciences, Fellow of Indian Academy of Sciences. And on top of that, I'm very much glad and to be, being a colleague of Professor Suman Chakraborty in the same department. Professor Suman Chakraborty, it's to you now to deliver your talk on technologies of microfabrication towards paradigm shift in affordable healthcare. With this, I'd like to close my presentation and let us all hear Professor Suman Chakraborty's talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Pal, and I would first like to congratulate you for completing this journey, which in a way sums up the phase one of this outstanding, or I would say the flagship center of excellence for which all of us at IIT Kharagpur and belonging to IIT Kharagpur broader family, we are all proud of this. We all believe that with your leadership and with the efforts of all the colleagues from our own department, of course, we belong to the mechanical engineering department, but manufacturing is not just mechanical engineering. So many other aspects are deeply involved, starting from AI to electronics and several other aspects. And I am so glad to see that the inclusive participation is ever growing, be it from the alumni, be it from the industry, and we are all looking forward to the phase 2 of this program. It is my great privilege to get the opportunity of speaking about this particular research domain in which we have started working over the last few years, and especially on a very auspicious day when 1 year of this particular weekly program has just been completed. I can see here my teachers, by the way, I consider them as teachers from whom I learn, and not literally who may have taught in my classes at some point of time. Professor Farooq Mistry, Professor P.K. Mishra, we have learned from all of them, and in fact directly from Professor P.K. Mishra, because some of the specific aspects that I'll be talking about today I first learned from him. So it's really an honor, and because of limited time, I know that it's late evening in India and conflicting with dinner and India-Sri Lanka day-night ping ball test and so many other things. So I would like to be brief and perhaps to the point in terms of talking about some of our journey, which has led us to understanding a bit of manufacturing that we use for applications related to affordable healthcare technologies. So I will put up my presentation, and this is always the most challenging part of the entire work, that is to see it works. So I'm just making it full screen with a hope that it will be visible. So I'm trying to do that, and
it's very,
okay,
very much visible.
Okay, so thank you so much, and as mentioned, this is about manufacturing, but particularly focused towards manufacturing for affordable healthcare. I am unlike most of you who are perhaps sitting here is not a core expert in manufacturing, and my venture into manufacturing has been primarily in the quest of developing new applications and new technologies. And over the years, I have realized that if there is one engineering across everything, that is manufacturing. Without manufacturing, you cannot do anything. We talk about so much of IT, software, soft things, and Indians are so good in doing soft things with press of computer button, or tapping the screen or mobile phone, but at the end it requires a hardware, and that requires manufacturing. Now in medical system, the challenge with manufacturing is several fold. One is, with which I will start, is the dramatic complexity of the physiological system versus an engineering system. I will try to give a very simple example. Let us imagine that we have an industrial plant. We see in the top right corner of this view graph a very complex piping system, and all of us who have been trained in hardcore engineering will invariably believe that there cannot be a more complex piping system than such one. Now look at the left view graph. It talks about a piping system in the human body. You have arteries, veins as lifelines of blood transmission in the human body system. There are different sizes of these blood flow conduits, and you have arterioles and venules, some of the ones that are smaller than the large and the large arteries and large veins, and they are connected by a very complex network of channels. These channels are microchannels that we talk about in microfabrication, but nature-made microchannels. Extremely complex in structure, unique in functionality. And this uniqueness is extremely difficult to generalize. I am giving one particular instance where the uniqueness of this may be decisive in understanding the progress of the disease cancer. When cancer progresses, the blood vessels which were originally there, they would dynamically evolve to give birth or to give rise to a new set of blood vessels, using which the new cancerous traits, as the cancer advances, the new cancerous traits will get their nutrients and have their source of survival. So this mechanism is called as angiogenesis. Now if you see the angiogenetic blood vessels which are shown in the bottom right part of this view graph, it is extremely challenging to fabricate this, considering the patient specific aspect as well as extremely dynamic nature of its progress. But because of several reasons which I will summarize in one of the later slides, it is important that we develop manufacturing technologies that go beyond the traditional realm of fabrication and get into the ambit of applications which not only cover some of these very unique applications, but also answer to the following questions. Can we fabricate miniature features without traditional clean room? Can we fabricate features of human physiology on a chip? And can these be upscaled and applied for disruptive technology translation and commercialization for the benefit of common people? I will start with one example with which we worked for some considerable time, and the effort has been to bring micro manufacturing out of the lithography labs. It is extremely critical because lithography labs are high-end resource labs and not readily available for manufacturing units to adapt and translate in an upscaled manner. We wanted to develop some diagnostic devices which are called as lab on a CD. And this technology was taught to us by Professor Mark Madu, a very renowned professor from the University of California at Irvine. His book, Fundamentals of Microfabrication, is one of the Bibles of the subject. Just to give you a feel of what we wanted to fabricate, if you are familiar with the pathology labs, the resourced pathology labs, they will invariably have one element called a centrifuge. Centrifuge, by the name, it is quite evident that it is a rotating device which by virtue of rotation will create centrifugal action, and in that way it can segregate various components, various analytes based on their density, and that can facilitate certain analytical procedures. But centrifuge requires extensive resources. We wanted to fabricate a mini centrifuge, which is a simple disc made of 5 layers, and I will show you very briefly what these layers are. But to summarize, some of these layers will contain the holes and the connectors, and one of the middle layers will contain the channels. The whole idea is that if you dispense one drop of blood or any other body fluid and you spin the disc on a motor, portable, everything is portable, the blood sample, for example, will move radially outwards and get into sections where possibly it is separated in terms of its cellular components based on density, and certain analytical procedures, be it chemical, be it purely image based, can be executed. So to make this manufacturing system, what we did is we developed a 5-layered structure. The 5-layered structure, what you see here, includes some pressure sensitive adhesive layers. The layer number 2 and 4, where you cut microchannels by simple vinyl cutters, and you have certain other layers that contain the chambers, and the top and the bottom layer they include alignment and venting holes. Now what you do is simply you align the entire system and bond it together, and for this entire manufacturing what you require is a simple tabletop CNC machine, and this pressing that is done I would imagine is very much analogous to how you make a burger. You see, different layers of the burger and all sandwiched together to make a single unit. That is how you make such a disk. While you can do diagnostic tests on a disk, the challenge is that you still require a motor to run it, and that requires power. Imagine that we all go to a resource limited setting where even this power supply is challenging. So for that, we want a diagnostic technology which uses a platform where you can have basically no cost fluid flow that doesn't require any pumping power. Look at this experiment, simple experiment. You have a piece of paper in which you drop one drop of blood. If you do that, you will see that the blood will diffuse, and there are of course interesting perspectives of studying the diffusion of this blood and then going for certain analysis of the blood pathology. But having said that, most of the blood tests will require the reaction of the blood with certain other reagents. And to do that, you need to confine the blood in a so-called containment zone. And not only that, after dispensing one drop of blood, you can, in principle, direct it to different locations and accordingly do a large number of tests all at different locations. What it means is that after dispensing the blood, you need to move it to some location where you want to do the analysis, the reactions and detection. So to move the blood on the paper, we require microchannels. Why? Because, as I mentioned, it requires a capillary action to result in pump free flow. And capillary action is extremely effective over micro and nanoscales. So the bottom line is that we need to make micro channels on the paper. So paper as a substrate is one of the most emerging platforms for medical diagnostics because of its simplicity, low cost, easy availability, and of course biocompatibility. Other type of paper strip on which similar diagnostic tests could be done, but of course on the basis of certain other nanobiotechnological events that I am not entering into today. That is also one type of platform which is rapidly emerging, the lateral flow strip. Thanks to COVID, all of us are now conversant with the rapid antigen tests. And for these rapid antigen tests, we do on these paper strips where different porous membranes are interlaced one with the other and compacted and put in the backbone of a backing card or a strip to make the so-called rapid diagnostic kit. So fabricating channels on paper and developing paper kits, these are some of the manufacturing activities which are future of manufacturing for affordable healthcare. in the pandemic situation and currently towards the endemic, that is almost out of the pandemic phase, we all have learned that there has to be more and more emphasis on community level and home level testing. And all what it requires is a massive upscaling of such diagnostic kits, for which there is a lot of dependence on imported items. In the traditional way of fabricating channels on paper, the essential philosophy is that if you want to make the fluid flow along a certain direction, you block the other directions by creating a barrier, hydrophobic barrier. And for that, several physical, chemical, optical, laser-based methods, so many of these methods are used. And these are very, very accurate methods, no doubt about it. But they require specialized instrumentation, chemicals, and hence quite expensive if we introduce these as backbones of affordable technology. So we came up with a solution, first a laboratory scale solution, where we simply print these microfluidic structures on a paper. In this printing, what is done is you print the channels in a piece of paper, the paper in which you are doing the diagnostic test, normally certain filter papers which have a bit of regularity in their porous structure. You print it using some inkjet printer, and during the printing what happens is that in the black region which is shown in the diagram, the toner particles come and fill up the pores at this location. Now what you do is that you heat it at an optimal temperature, typically at about 200 degrees centigrade for 4 to 5 minutes. What it all makes is it melts the tonal particles that embed with the pores and create the hydrophobic barrier. And if you do it with proper alignment on both sides of the paper, your paper microchannel is made. On the top of this, if you want to make use of electric field, remember that in any on-chip technology, along with capillary action, action of electric field is also very important. And the major challenge in manufacturing or fabrication is electrode deposition. Again, quite a sophisticated process. So what we came up with is first a very simple frugal lab scale idea that we take the piece of paper and sketch the SEM at certain locations with say HB pencil. This sketching is not done arbitrarily. The whole vision is that the tip of the pencil contains lead, and because it contains lead, what it can do is that this lead which has graphite, this graphite deposition is made by simple paper pencil sketching, and this graphite deposition makes an electrode which you can connect by proper electrical circuitry with wire and power source, and then use it as a platform for electrically driven flow. And this we termed as paper and pencil microfluidics, which all got innovated in our lab at IIT Kharagpur about 10 years back. We also figured out that there could be certain other frugal ways of printing such micro channels, basically the hydrophobic barriers. All of us know about the whitening ink or the correction ink, the whitener that we use for erasing ink marks. So by simple deposition of those whitener inks, Again, it is possible to create simple hydrophobic barriers and containment zones. It is possible because the titanium dioxide which is included in these inks, they get embedded on the paper and block the perforated pores. So in a way, these are simple technologies, but not inherently scalable. I will come to the point where such lab-based innovation gets advanced to a scalability to develop mass manufacturing procedures. I mentioned about the plastic disc, I mentioned about paper, and now I will mention about cloth or fabric as a diagnostic kit. Fabric or cloth has very similar complex fibrous porous structure as that of a paper, the cellulosic structure, but with certain decisive advantages. What are the advantages? Unlike paper, which get disintegrated on exposure with liquid for some time, the cloth will not do so. So what can be done here is something which is very simple. You can, by simple painting procedure, create a liquid mixture. So we prepared a magic formula with some wood finish, linseed oil and mineral spirit, and tried to first develop a handicraft technology just to paint the channels. And we could lay out any type of channel because what it required is simple painting. These materials, fabric structures, have high tensile strength and flexibility and good weight strength and excellent biocompatibility. And we should not underestimate their impact because of their flexibility. They are perhaps going to be the future of wearable sensors, the diagnostic kits that we can wear on our wrist or the arm. Now, once we have these sensors or diagnostic strips, these strips will have certain analytic procedures. For example, a reaction of blood with certain reagents. Now, that analytic procedure will give a signal, commonly a change in color or a fluorescence, or in some cases electrochemical signal. Whatever is the signal, that signal has to be detected. So there has to be an embedded electronics. The embedded electronics also very commonly includes optics, typically at least some LED light, and very common electronic boards like the PCB and sometimes microcontrollers and other units like battery, all compacted in a handheld unit, which in the modern era can be interfaced with a simple smartphone. So either an inbuilt camera which may be a USB camera or any other camera which is integrated with this portable box that can take the image of the test outcome in the diagnostic strip, which could be a piece of paper, cloth or whatever, and then we may require to do image analysis and data analytics on the basis of that. So altogether I call it image analytics. So it may start with image digitization, feature extraction and application of training from patient specific information from validation data for applying certain classification and other machine learning tools for colorimetric and other forms of detection. So here we have the digital interface, the electronics and in general technology backbone known as the cyber part of the technology, which together with the physical system constitutes a cyber physical diagnostic device. The technologies that I talked about are primarily for medical diagnostics, but there are other manufacturing requirements where the essential challenge is to develop replica of the connective blood vessels inside the human body, whatever is there inside a human body, make a replica of that in an artificial engineered device, a lab on a chip, but something more advanced than lab on a chip, because it can connect the models of various organs, and in the process we can test the efficacy of drug. So when a drug is being tested, there are preclinical trials in lab and on animals, and then human trials. These are lengthy trials with lots of ethical concerns. So this could be simplified in terms of the time consuming nature and the challenges in dealing with animal models if we can make in vitro or engineered models for such drug testing platforms. So all what it requires is mimicking the human body vasculature or blood vessel connectivity in an engineered device, and that requires another very unique aspect of manufacturing of deformable microchannels. This journey we started about 5 years back with a simple material, a gel type of material called as gelatin, which is a derivative of collagen, a protein abundantly found in human tissues. It is more biocompatible than the other common biomicrofabrication material, a very well-known polymeric material, PDMS. The gelatin has very low modulus of elasticity. It can be deformed to a great extent to mimic the function of human tissue. Its method of fabrication, however, is very similar to soft lithography and can be made even simpler. I show you an approach here where you use a lumbar puncture needle, which is commonly used in hospitals, typically around 250 micron outer diameter, and you pour the gel material around that and fill it up inside a petri dish, again a very commonly used consumable in biology labs. And when this is cured, just like the old classical casting, what it makes is that it creates a solidified structure around this needle, and if the needle is withdrawn, you get a hollow soft space of about 240 to 480 micron. So you have a circular microchannel, flexible circular microchannel. But human body vasculature is not just one microchannel. Human body microcapillary is a network of microchannels, very complexly connected. And I have shown the perspectives earlier when I began with the example of cancer metastasis and angiogenesis of formation of new blood vessels. So we tried to get an inspiration from that and tried to fabricate biomimetic network of microchannels. We started with a method called as nature-inspired soft lithography, where we took leaf as a pattern because leaf has such branch structure naturally occurring, and we tried to make a pattern of that, a template, a master template, and create microchannels out of that. The structure was formed successfully, but if you see the inner lumen, it is not circular, and therefore it was not mimicking the circular lumen of the human blood vessel. So as an alternative to this, we followed the same external architecture, but internally we used a technique called as hydrogel molding. So we put up some wares, and then what we did is we molded with the gel material that I was just talking about around these wares. And once you flush out the ware, what you get is a hollow space. You can see the inner lumen, which is circular, and that is how very simply biomimetic microchannels are made. Now, the question is that all what I have talked about and very purposefully talked about are innovations from the lab. But manufacturing doesn't end with innovation from the lab. Manufacturing starts with innovation from the lab. So all what it requires is a further advancement, which includes upscaling, use of specialty materials that can be used for large scale fabrication, design and automation, and digital convergence. And all these can lead to a manufacturing paradigm and ecosystem which can be boosted up through participation of MSMEs and other established industrial chains to develop devices that enables the fulfillment of the journey from the lab to commercialized scale. And this is one first effort from our research group to do this. We have, just like the Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing, a Center for Research and Technology Development on Affordable Healthcare. So in that center, it is essentially a common hub where we engage researchers on one side, medical experts on another side, and MSMEs and other manufacturing experts on the other side. So using that, we have ourselves designed and got fabricated a very unique, scalable manufacturing unit for making these paper diagnostic strips in a semi-automated format, which can be fully automated with robotics and other engagements, but this is just to keep it simple, which starts with the age preparation, electronic dispenser, which will dispense the necessary materials, be it graphite, be it reagents, the lyophilizer, which will dispense the solid reagents, and there are heaters, and at the end, when all are dispensed on the paper strip, there is a vacuum packaging and shearing unit to make a complete product, starting from a paper roll to a paper diagnostic strip, which houses the microchannel network and also which has the dispensed materials along with that. So with this manufacturing pilot, which can be further upscaled to include full automation and digital control, we envisage to traverse a journey from point of care diagnostics to extreme point of care applications. Applications where we can do the diagnostic tests outside controlled diagnostic labs, but without compromised accuracy. This is the need of the hour. So these are certain glimpses of examples. One is a complete blood count test on a CD, a full blood count test. We know that a full blood count test is something which is very commonly recommended by doctors for screening of various things. And as I mentioned earlier, that the centrifugal action of the CD naturally separates various elements of the blood, cellular elements, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, etc. And then after localizing them by applying image analytics, it is possible to have quite an accurate complete blood count test. We also developed the diagnostic kits, the paper strips for different very common blood tests. The blood glucose, you can see that is a strip, and the unique nature of the strip is that we have a small integrated membrane fabricated along with that, which will naturally separate the plasma from the whole blood, and the plasma moves by capillary action through a station to a section where the diagnostic reaction takes place. The smartphone camera takes its image, and then you insert this strip basically into this portable box, so that the smartphone camera can take the image and do all the analytics of image processing and result dissemination. It is just like a credit card interfacing with a credit card reader, a diagnostic strip interfacing with a portable reader, all synchronized by a smartphone. I will give one more example which was developed in the very challenging period of COVID. We all felt the challenges of RT-PCR test, not that RT-PCR tests are very rare, not that they are inaccurate, but extremely resource intensive. So in a large country, and even in any resource limited setting, there can be efforts to make the RT-PCR test very low cost by putting a lot of subsidy and other measures for getting the kit at very low cost. But establishing the RT-PCR facility and maintaining it is a lot of resource hunger that you have to satisfy. Infrastructure, resource, machine, human resource, maintenance, so many other things. The rapid antigen test, on the other hand, is known to be inaccurate, or at least of limited accuracy. So the rapid antigen test, if it turns out to be negative in prediction, we cannot confidently say it is negative, and we have to go for maybe a confirmatory test if there are concerning symptoms in the patient. So we wanted to bridge this gap and develop a machine which is a portable handheld device, a substitute of the RT-PCR machine in terms of doing a nucleic acid test in a manner of, I would say, in a principle similar to the RT-PCR test, but this time a machine which is of disruptively low cost, say within 8,000 to 10,000 rupees, and then all the tests can be functioned or performed by minimally skilled frontline workers outside control lab, and within 30 to 45 minutes you can get the test result. In the year 2020, we developed this device and validated with ICMR with 200 extracted RNA samples. In the year 2021, we completed successful field dissemination testing on more than 2,000 live patients, in fact on IIT Kharagpur campus only. And in very difficult times, typically in the second wave of the infection, when the RT-PCR test, which was routinely being done in the Midnapur Medical College and Hospital, it used to take 2 days. In the weekend, more challenging because samples could not be processed in the weekends. So the patient had to wait for a couple of days just to get an idea whether it is COVID positive or negative. We responded to the need, and with the support of the authorities and all the campus residents and in fact outside visitors, we performed the tests in those challenging times, and also during the most recent convocation when physically people came and attended the meet. And in this year, with commercial technology transfer, it is projected to be launched commercially. this type of portable box unit and the portable unit that I had shown earlier, these also require scalable manufacturing. In the lab, we use 3D printing. In a scalable manner, we normally use plastic molding or injection molding. Now, there can be a nice research topic of how we can convert these two in terms of optimal scalability and precision and usage of resources. I will finally talk about one example which is a bit different from these body fluid based tests. This is a low cost portable imaging device for early screening of oral cancer. Oral cancer is a cause in the underserved locations because of typical chewing habits, and its deadliness is simply because that in most of the cases it is detected at such an advanced stage that it becomes irreversible or irrecoverable. In a resource limited place, there are not enough screening tools to detect these on the first place, and it may all start with certain symptoms within the mouth, which is known as oral submucosal fibrosis, which is a pre-cancer. And if it is kept undetected and unattended, over a period of time, there is a chance that it develops into the oral squamous cell carcinoma or oral cancer. So this transition from pre-cancer to cancer can be completely reversed if we can detect this early. So we developed a portable handheld device which could take the thermal image inside the mouth. It converts the thermal map to a blood perfusion map and then applies classification algorithms based on patient training data to classify the images as normal, pre-cancer and cancer. We applied this in a phase 1 clinical trial, successful phase 1 clinical trial with the support of the specialist doctors from Guru Nanak Institute of Dental Sciences and Research, and it has given rise to an affordable yet simple technology that can be utilized outside the advanced clinical settings. This work has recently been published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, USA, and of course it is a patent that has been filed, and we are progressing towards fabricating these devices. With these technologies, we have not just fabricated the devices, we have used the fabricated devices for functionalizing them for particular bioanalytic applications, like the biomimetic channels functionalized with endothelial cells which are there in the lining of the blood vessels, and studying the dynamics of the red blood cells and tumor cells that circulate in the human body. So all in all, we have tried to traverse a journey from lab to use, developing innovations in fabrication in the lab. I would imagine that for advanced manufacturing, innovation is very important. We all share the dream along with our Honorable Prime Minister, the Make in India. But Make in India can get successful if we can innovate in India. And otherwise, it will be something where we will be confined only to reverse engineering. Well, reverse engineering can be the first step of learning, but it cannot be the end step. To innovate, the innovation starts with the lab. But laboratory innovation in manufacturing is not scalable. So on one side, we infuse deep science and frugal manufacturing technology for public health related applications, which are mostly having a strip or a kit and a device that are all harmonized with smartphone integration, with a vision of making them functional in resource poor infrastructure. But the major key is manufacturing upscaling. And that manufacturing upscaling requires the manufacturing adaptation as per industrial practices, standards, controls, with particular emphasis on design for manufacturing, design for usability. And all that, when successfully implemented, can completely traverse the journey from lab to commercialization, engaging the MSMEs and other industrial collaborators, leading not just lab innovation, but directing lab innovation to manufactured products, in this case, medical devices, for an emerging manufacturing hub of India, where we no more depend so much on imported medical devices, but we become self-reliant in terms of manufacturing these devices and also export to others for the general global well-being and good health. I would finally like to acknowledge all the sponsors and supporters of this initiative: IIT Kharagpur, CMR, Ministry of Education, DSIR, Government of India, Ministry of Science and Technology, including its wings DST, ACRB, DBT, and of course foreign bodies such as Royal Academy of Engineering, and of course our huge alumni database and the IIT Kharagpur alumni chapter from USA, which is the IIT Kharagpur Foundation. Thank you all very much. And of course, our teammates, professors, other research colleagues, students, postdoctoral fellows, the masters, undergraduate students, and laboratory staff. We have all worked together to come up to this stage, and I believe that the phase 2 of this activity of this Center for Advanced Manufacturing will provide us the platform for realizing this vision of bringing many of these technologies to the ambit of large-scale manufacturing for the benefit of common people and for the overall industrial growth of the nation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Suman, you have rightly mentioned the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. It's a very famous poem of Robert Frost. And so don't worry, the Center of Excellence in Advanced, today there is no question. I mean, let us not have any questions. The Center of Excellence in Advanced Manufacturing Technology is posing as a catapult center in the heavy the manufacturing, taking the lab innovation to the commercial state. And as we have submitted projects to the Minister of Heavy Industries for the healthcare equipment as well. So we'll be more than happy to include the healthcare, affordable healthcare equipment manufacturing activities as well under the Center of Excellence, so that we can take the laboratory scale innovations to the commercial state. We'll be more than happy to work together. It's a wonderful lecture, Suman, and as usual, the wonderful research. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
With this,
again, I am expressing my sincere gratitude for this opportunity in this very special occasion, which is the 52nd week of this very special program. We hope that this continues and many more such weeks glorify the activities of this center.
Yeah, so we'll think of doing something similar to this in the near future as well. Yeah. So thank you, participants. I'm really grateful and honored that most of you were present almost from the beginning till today, the end. I can see the Professor Tapan Bakshi, I can see the Professor P.K. Misra, Professor Subir Majumdar, and many more, were present in most of the lectures and all. So it's really honor to us. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Be safe. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. With this, I'd like to close the Saturday Manufacturing Talk Mega Webinar Series.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.